All right.
Good evening.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas tardes in some parts.
Buonasera.
It's Tuesday.
Ciao, boy.
How y'all doing?
Woo!
Bueno.
Glad to
Frago.
be here.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Well, cheers, y'all. It's Tuesday. Time for the Good Time Supper Club. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you guys. Should we kick it off with some tunes?
Take it.
All right. Let's do this. All right. Heard that you were talking about me. I heard you had a smile on your face while you cried. Everybody's walking around it, but I just had to laugh at the truth in your lies. Play your part, know you're lying. If they ask, we'll both say, yeah, we're doing fine.
Airing out your dirty laundry, hanging all your so-called friends out to dry. You say you want your independence. 3 years gone, so hard to find. What goes up comes around. It's so hard to get your feet off the ground. You came crashing through the window, and it gave away so fast. All I hear now is the wind blow, riding shotgun through the past. Came crashing through the window, and it gave away so fast. All I hear now is the wind blow, riding shotgun
Through the past. Heading back to Carolina, hanging on you so complete for a while. Yeah, something like that. We'll always know where to find you, dishing out your repartee and your lines. What goes up comes around. It's so hard to get your feet off the ground. You came crashing through the window, and it gave away so fast. All I hear now is the wind blow, riding shotgun through the past. You came crashing through the window, and it gave away so fast. All I hear now is the wind blow, riding shotgun through the past.
Well, crashing through the window, and it gave away so fast. All I hear now is the wind blow, riding shotgun through the past. Came crashing through the window, and it gave away so fast. All I hear now is the wind blow, riding shotgun through the past.
All right.
I love how something so beautiful can be so easily turned into fuck off and die.
What are you talking about, Richard?
What you talking about, Richard?
The magic, Rich.
Key
Yeah.
story. Key story. No,
True
yeah.
story. Bob Ritchie. Poet.
Man, yeah. Well, what's new, guys?
We just had a question from somebody out there asking if we play weddings. Yeah, well.
We have.
What's your budget?
And when is it?
Yeah, right.
That's the other question. This is
Yeah.
strange times. We're trying to figure out everything for the fall. We have a huge tour booked for the fall, and don't know if it's going to happen.
Don't know. Yep.
Well, should we just plow forth with more music? Just keep on going.
Music is the elixir.
Yes.
Truly.
Fourth we go with music.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna try this one. Our friend Cammie she requested this one, so we're gonna send this one out to her, and I'm gonna go here. All right. This is one from the 1 Foot in the Ether record. Poor man begging for a drop of change. Rich man running from a ball and chain. Preacher man pulling for a Democrat. I see 8 more seconds on the golden calf. I'm gonna do a little audible here. I just did not look far enough ahead into the set list to see what song Ed might be playing for Trading Places. And this is the one he's gonna be playing later. So I'm gonna trade songs here. I'm gonna do another kind of Trading Places. "30 miles on the Gulf Stream, I can hear the south wind moan. Bridges getting lower, all the shrimp boats coming home. The old man down in the corner slowly turns his head, takes a sip from his whiskey bottle, and this is what he said. I was born in the rain on the Poncha train underneath the Louisiana moon. Don't mind the strain of a hurricane, they come around every June. The high black water, a devil's daughter, she's hard, she's cold, and she's mean. But nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. A man came down from Chicago, gonna set that levee right. He said, need to be at least a 3 feet higher, won't make it through the night. But the old man down in the corner said, don't you listen to that boy. Water be down by the morning, he'll be back to Illinois. I was born in the rain on the Poncha train underneath the Louisiana moon. Don't mind the strain of a hurricane, they come around every June. The high black water, a devil's daughter. She's hard, she's cold, and she's mean. But nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. 30 miles on the Gulf Stream, I can hear the south wind moan. Bridges getting lower, all the shrimp boats coming home. The old man down in the corner slowly turns his head, takes a sip from his whiskey bottle, and this is what he said. I was born in the rain on the Poncha train underneath the Louisiana moon. Don't mind the strain of a hurricane, they come around every June. The high black water, a devil's daughter. She's hard, she's cold, and she's mean. But nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. Nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans. All right.
Yeah. Nice recovery. See, that's why we do it live for you folks every week. You never know what's going to happen. That's why you got to tune in.
It also led to some interesting spellings of the word segue. Does anybody want to? What's the proper spelling in the musical? I mean, there's the Segway, the machine.
It's the things you ride, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a French word, Trevor.
Do y'all remember the time when Ed got on a Segway for the first?
That was amazing.
Whoa! Where were we? We were.
It got messed me up. Honestly,
we were in McKinney.
Yeah, we were in McKinney.
Oh man, we were okay. God,
it's one of those things where you should get on it and just figure it out because it's pretty self-explanatory. This guy, he put me on and he's like, well, you gotta lean this way and then lean that way, and I do it. And I just planted right. I just took a digger. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
That would be me.
Help is on the way.
Yeah. Trouble in L.A.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, for those of you who are maybe new here, we're the Band of Heathens. Obviously, if you're tuning into our page, this is what we do every Tuesday night. We all live in different cities across the country. We haven't seen each other in person in a long time. Like many of y'all, we're kind of isolated and looking for connection. So this is what we do to have some fun and play some music. We can't play together, obviously, because of the internet delay. But this is the next best thing. We do this to raise money to keep paying our bills through PayPal and Venmo, and keep everybody afloat while we can't tour. And if you dig this, we would love it if you would spread the word, share the link, share, get people to tune in. We have a good time. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Ed, you got a tune ready? Maybe one that I'm not gonna do later.
We're gonna keep the segues going. When we play live, sometimes we do these two tunes into each other. This is another one off the Top Hat Crown record. This is called The Other Broadway. The marquee's on the blacktop. It's broken down where she used to play. Still the church bells ring and the choir sings. Lead the people in the praise. Preacher said that she lost her faith. Still she came in at a fighting way.
127,000 times. Well, you see the sun, and that head no longer shine. Oh. Say hello, say goodbye to the city, the one where the streets don't run so high. Say hello, say goodbye to the city with the other Broadway side. Rolled up the sidewalks and closed the doors, and they pushed her out where the grass don't grow. To every single face looks the same inside. There's not a soul left standing where body lies. No, no. Say hello, say goodbye to the city, the one where the streets don't run so wide. Say hello, say goodbye to the city with the other Broadway sign. Say hello, say goodbye. Say hello, say goodbye. Say hello, say goodbye. Say hello, yeah, I wanna say bye, oh, bye, 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 bye. I wanna say bye, 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 bye. Oh, bye, 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 bye. Oh, bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye.
Wow, Trev. Thanks, man. It gets more pretty every week.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Cheers to everybody.
Cheers to everybody.
Much love.
Truly. Well, it's good to be back here. Tuesday night, Good Time Supper Club. I sure am happy that it's Tuesday again. It's always a treat for me. It's my highlight of the week. I am tonight making a new cocktail of mine that's I'm sure already in some form or another a cocktail that exists, but for all intents and purposes, we are considering it a new one here. It's called the Kushti Rye, and it's delicious, and it's another good, if you're a whiskey drinker like I am, and I know that we do more whiskey drinks than mostly anything else, because that's usually what I'm drinking, but this is a pretty refreshing one. So, as always, we're going to start with the whiskey. You know, about 2 ounces, a little heavier than just a normal shot, maybe a shot and a half. I'm using Wild Turkey Rye, and I should specify that we're pouring rye for this cocktail. You're going to have a couple splashes of Angostura bitters, which are delicious and really good for most cocktails. It's a good thing to have in your bar. A few splashes there. And now I'm going to add the whiskey cube to get that going. I'm going to swirl that around a bit, get it melted down, and then I'm going to top it with some cream sugar made with real cane sugar. It's about the most delicious thing ever. You can just pour it right on top of the cube. And it should be about 1 part cream soda to 2 parts whiskey. And you can go ahead, I don't even know that I have room for it, but here, I'm going to go ahead and top it with the cherry. And this right here is the Kushti Rye, and it's delicious, and I hope that you guys are having something delicious tonight too, and let us know what you guys are drinking. And if you try one of these, go ahead and take a photo and send it to us, because this is brand new for us, and I'm loving it so far. So cheers, everybody. Let us know what you're drinking. Enjoy the show.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Hey, Jesse,
You're a good man, Jesse.
is there a special someone in your family that we should raise a toast to this evening?
Yes, absolutely, and I bet he's watching too. Today is my grandfather, my mom's dad, Jack. It is his 97th birthday today. Woo! June 23rd, 1923.
Looking good.
He is he's in LA with my family, and I hope he's just partying out there right now in his house, playing solitaire, hopefully watching the show. And if you are, Granddaddy, love you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy
Happy birthday. Cheers, Jack.
Cheers, man.
Man, nice. And what a nice concoction, Jesse. Nice drink invention.
It's
Amazing.
delicious.
Hey, we got some comments here, Ed.
Yeah.
Strong backdrop game. We love that the lava lamp is back. Some people are asking what the analog gear, what's that lunchbox looking thing with knobs next to the lava lamp?
Exactly what it is, Gordy. It's a lunchbox amp. You put your lunch in it. You go to work. You cash your check. Working man's day. It's actually it's like a single-ended, kind of like a Tweed Deluxe sort of amp. You know, low wattage, a lot of good harmonic breakup.
A lot of hair, if you will.
A lot of hair. Good rock and
A lot
roll.
of hair on that thing.
Good for the rock and the roll.
Yeah.
I thought it was Mr. Coffee or Mr. Radar, like in Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space
That's Mr. Coffee.
Mr. Coffee.
Mr. Radar.
Yeah, that's right.
We also had, let's see, we had some comments about that.
Some people. Speaking of backdrops, Gordy, somebody noticed you have a new backdrop this week.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we were moving some paintings around in the house. This is a very large painting, and this was the only wall big enough to put it on. And I figure, hey, this is a painting by the artist Bob Daber or Robert Daber. It's called Swamp Gas.
It was the cover of a Steinbeck novel or something, right?
and yeah, it is actually. He let us use this. He painted this first, and then he let us use the image for our very first studio album, which is called The Band of Heathens. And he was kind enough to allow us to put the name of the band on top of his beautiful painting on the actual album. And yeah, it's funny too, because that album is known as the Band of Heathens, self-titled, and but internally we all call it Swamp Gas because of the painting. But
Hey,
anyway.
Meanwhile, as you were talking, Robert Shelley, Trevor, was so observant to offer "May the Schwartz be with you," Trevor.
Oh, may the Schwartz be with you. May the Schwartz be with you, Robert.
All right, let's do another tune. How about it?
Yeah. All right.
In honor of our guest tonight, I'm gonna do a tune from the band that we play in together, which is called Trigger Hippie, and this is one I wrote with my friend Nick in the band. This is called Long Lost Friend. This goes out to everyone. Y'all are just like we're all long lost friends on this medium here. So here we go. I spent all my time and money, got the sting but not the honey. It takes a fool to prove you ain't got nothing to lose. I don't dream the way I used to. I can't make these stories come true. Well, I burn the bridge, but I'm still out in the fuse. You were the only one who'll never break when we bend. Still I'm holding the pages to a letter I never did send. How long will you regret it? Sounds so sweet, I could hardly forget it. Oh, it killed me when you said it again and again and again. Loved you like a long lost friend. I've been climbing out the basement, squared my bad debt, paid the month's rent, trying to make up for so many lost days. I don't hope you know I'm sorry, and you'll never have to worry. If you let me back, I'll never let you go. Beyond a second chance, I haven't been so blind. What I do believe, you're my partner in crime. I said, how long will you regret it? Sounds so sweet, I could hardly forget it. Oh, it killed me when you said it again and again and again. Loved you like a long lost friend. Regret it, sounds so sweet, I could hardly forget it. Oh, it killed me when you said it again and again and again. How long will you regret it? Sounds so sweet, I could hardly forget it. Oh, it killed me when you said it again and again and again. Love you like a long lost friend. Love you like a long lost friend. Love you like a long lost friend. Love you like a
like a long lost friend. We all together we'd singing, love you like a long lost friend. I said, love you like a long lost friend. Yes, I did. Love you like a long lost friend. Oh, love you like a long lost friend.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice. So, yeah, I'm excited. Excited for our guest later. We had a couple of questions in the comments. I noticed. Hey, Rich, how's Danko doing?
He is recovering well. Thanks for asking, whoever that was. But yeah, he's recovering.
Yeah, for everyone that doesn't know, actually, Rich, maybe you can fill everybody in. Danko had surgery, right? Your cat?
Yeah, our 1.5-year-old cat had a blocked urinary tract that just one morning, he obviously wasn't doing well, and so after a total ordeal and a botched initial catheter procedure, he had to have this major surgery, but he's doing well, so we're happy to have him home and he's recovering.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a drag.
Yeah. We also want to say hey to Luke, 7-year-old Luke, whose dad is David. Just want to give a little shout out. Is it that time? I think I saw. I think it might be time. Trev, are you ready?
Yeah, it's a little earlier in the show. It kind of caught me off guard. But Here we go. It is the Grateful Dead Minute. Just a little bit of Althea for you. Cool. It is time for a Grateful Dead Minute. This show comes to you from Alaska. The Dead played Alaska in 1980. They went up there for the solstice and did 3 nights, June 19th, 20th, and 21st. So it was just this past week was the 40th anniversary of the shows, and it was part of the reason I thought of them because Jay Blakesberg, the esteemed rock and roll photographer, Grateful Dead photographer, posted some pictures of the show, and it's pretty awesome. I had this tape from this show. It was one of my first tapes, and it was just the second set. But now the whole night is available to you, and I hope you'll check it out. It's amazing. Everybody talks about the show took place in a high school gym, West High School in Anchorage, and seeing the Dead in a gym in 1980 with how tight they were and how loud they were. A lot of people, I'm sure, who were there, their lives were changed forever. I mean, it was just, the music was so intense. And the recording I selected, there's a bunch on archive, but the one I selected is a Matrix, so it has this audience tape. And the audience tape, if you're a fan of audience tapes, there's an amazing audience tape of this, but I like the Matrix because it blends in a little of the soundboard, so you really have a perfect image of everything. Lots of ambiance, but you can hear the bass, and that's really the big part. The bass is more full with the Matrix. But the show is fantastic. There's an incredible mid-first set, Let It Grow, into Althea, which was pretty rare. Usually Let It Grow would appear and it'd be the end of the first set. Maybe rarely they played at the top of the second set, but it was like the halfway point. And they played in Althea, which is of many, many great versions of Althea. This is very high on the list. It's hard to pick a number one, but you have to check this one out. It's one of the best ever. Everybody in the band, the whole show, I mean, Jerry just kicks ass the whole show, and every band is just like lining them up, shot after shot, everything landing right in the pocket, the whole show. It's an awesome, awesome tape, and I hope you'll check it out and dig it. And what's crazy too is the show ended and everybody walked out of the gym. A lot of people had traveled in for the show, and it's, 12 in the morning or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and the sun was still out because it was the solstice and they were in Alaska. So must have been a really heady time. to be in Alaska, June of 1980. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Look forward to hearing about it. Thank you.
Very cool. Thanks, Trev. Let's see here. Are we back around to a song, I believe? We got some questions and comments about these private shows that Ed and I have been doing. Ed and I have been doing a bunch of duo Zoom concerts just like this, and some people are asking, like, do we get to talk? Yes, these are. It's kind of like a living room concert where Ed and I Zoom in from our homes, and you Zoom in from your home, and you get to invite up to 10 friends from their locations, or 10 households. And I see Jesse Crocker has been asking lots of questions about this. So yes, Jesse, I think it's time you just pull the trigger here. If you go to bandofheathens.com/live or bandofheathens.com/book, you can see the dates that are available. We might be, I'm not sure if this next weekend is sold out or not, but we're going to release some July dates here in the next week. But they've been a lot of fun. You know, what it lacks in rock and roll energy, which we miss, I feel like it's making up for in personal connection. We've gotten to know a bunch of people pretty well. A bunch of people have been come back and doing repeats every week or every month, and it's just been really cool getting to know people and just kind of touching base on a more personal level. So that's been really great. I hope you guys check them out if that's something you're into. Another thing, what's that? Were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think there's a few spots left for Saturday night.
Okay. Cool.
Still.
Interesting. Oh, another thing. Here, I'm going to do a song here. I'm going to do a song that is actually probably something the Heathens that we'll never play as a band. It may not be a Heathens song, but I was going to do something that I've done a few times in these personal concerts, kind of give you a little taste of some of the how these shows are different. This is kind of a folk tune that I wrote for my wife one year for our anniversary. I figured I would write her a nice romantic song, and we've known each other since we were 13 years old, and we never dated till we were in our 20s, but we had lots of mutual friends, and we had been on double dates and with groups. But I figured I was going to try to write her a song a couple years ago for our anniversary, and this song is kind of the story of how we met when I was playing Little League baseball, and she was going steady with my friend Derek, and she would come to our games, and it's kind of a goofy little song that don't ever play, but I'm gonna give you a little taste of it now. This is called Little League Love. Let's see here. All right. Under my head, a red clay burning in the grass so green. Under the lights I was just 13. There's a cute little girl in the stands again. When she showed up, we'd always win. She was a lucky charm, a shot in the arm. She put her backs to the wind. The coach's son was a star of the team, the starting pitcher and the home run king. And everybody knows that he's going steady, with the blonde-haired girl in the stands so pretty. But we didn't care, we couldn't help but stare. There was love in the air. Swinging for the fences, Strike one, I almost connected. I'm coming home soon. Little league love, I'm swinging for you. A little league love, I'm swinging for you. I got my eye black on and my big league chew. Sunflower seeds in a Mountain Dew. I pick up some dirt and I spit in my hands. I'm feeling uneasy in my skin-tight pants. It was an awkward time, but down the first base line, she was up in the stands. Swinging for the fences. Strike two, I almost connected. My time is coming soon. A little league love, I'm swinging for you. A little league love, I'm swinging for you. With dreams of getting past second base, a teenage boy will do anything. The bottom of the ninth with the runner on first. Down by one, I'm gonna break the curse. The count was full and the air was tense, but the pitcher couldn't shake my confidence. So I dig in my cleats, I take a look to the seats, and I point to the fence. Swinging for the fences. At last I finally connected. I'm coming home soon. Little league love, I'm swinging for you. Swinging for the fences. At last I finally connected. I'm coming home soon. A little league love, I'm swinging for you. A little league love, I'm swinging for you. All right.
Yeah.
Figure we have a sports fan coming on soon, so it might be my one opportunity to squeeze in a little baseball folk song.
We got Steve Gorman with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Steve, coming to us from Nashville. Thanks for joining us. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Do I have to sing a song about like soccer now? Did I miss an email? I'm not prepared. I'm just going to tell you straight up.
I did it for you, Steve. Don't worry.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Always looking out for his fellow man.
So we're happy to have Steve. Steve has a couple of distinctions tonight. He's our first guest that won't be singing a song, but even continue with the sports theme. Steve is the first invited guest who ended up on the IR. If you're not familiar with sports, that's the injured reserve list. Steve was going to track drums on the tune that you're going to hear in a little bit, but Steve, tell the good people of America and the world what happened.
Well, it's as simple as my old age just crept up on me the other day. Performing a simple household task, doing a little rearranging some bedding situations. I made the mistake of trying to move a box spring mattress, which, as we all know, weighs less than 10 pounds. And just went in and grabbed it with my right hand. And as I lifted, my right elbow snapped, not unlike the sound you hear when you light a firecracker. Long story short, some torn ligaments in the right elbow. The doctor said it was a miracle that this happened. He said, if you had just, the angle of the reach and the way I was stooped over, like 1,000 things led to my elbow suddenly not working. He goes, you could do this 100 times and this wouldn't happen again. I said, yeah, I've been using this arm for a long time and this has never happened. So it's good times. So a lot of ice, a lot of muscle relaxers, and a lot of unplanned naps because of the muscle relaxers the last few days.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad we caught you in a lucid moment here. It's always nice too when something health wise happens, you go to the doctor and he reaffirms just how lucky you are to have done what you've done to yourself.
Yeah, he really was like, he just wanted to hammer the point home. Like, no, this should not have happened. Like, and he goes, if your fingers had been a little more widely spread out, or if your shoulder had just been turned a little, there's just no telling what led to this. But so anyway, it's a great story, and we'll all sit around the tree this holiday season and laugh, I'm sure, in hindsight.
Nice.
I was looking forward to playing. I mean, I haven't sat behind the kit with tape rolling in quite a while, so it was a drag. But once the rehab is complete, if you guys will give me a second chance to make the squad, I think I can come in and acquit myself nicely.
Absolutely.
Well, just like Bill Belichick told Drew Bledsoe, you won't lose your job to an injury.
That's exactly okay. Good. I'll that basically tells me when this call's over, we're done here.
No, we love you, Steve. We love you.
So this is a pretty cool thing you gentlemen are doing.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's kind of nerdy and cool at the same time.
As most of the best things are both.
Yeah,
let's
it's
not
like
kid ourselves.
Never guessed a rock and roll band would be our only lifeline to the world would be through some Zoom conference call application. But it's cool. It's like it's all we've got right now, and trying to make the best of it. Thank you for joining us.
Well, I think you'll know that I mean this quite sincerely when I say I had nothing else to do. Ed said, "Hey, do you want to?" Yes. I didn't even know what he was asking. Yes, is there something to do? Please, God help me. Of course, I'll do it. So, and my imagination was I ran down a lot of roads a lot darker than this one. So this is great for me.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you would write a book, Steve? Did you ever set out? You just recently wrote a book, and I think most of us read it. I loved it. In all your years touring, that you would remember, be able to recall.
Yeah, I always knew I had a curse of a great memory. And I used to say for years I'd write the book, but nobody will believe it. So, and I still, it was always a joke, like, oh, well, you'll have to write the book if anyone does. But no, I mean, it was only in the last 5 or 6 years that I'd ever actually started to think about it and wonder if I would get around to it. But it's once I started, there's a lot of people think must have been a really grueling experience. It was demanding just time wise, and it's emotionally, or it's intellectually draining to keep it all in shape, but emotionally draining only in that, the response to it took more out of me than writing it, because I've already sort of processed all this stuff. I didn't have these big cathartic moments of, oh, I finally got this off my chest, or I've already gone through all that. So, but it's certainly been an interesting process. I like writing. It's the first time I've ever written anything that was ever put out into the world. So getting blowback or feedback or praise or criticism is a new thing. But I mean, on the whole, it's all been pretty great.
It's an excellent memoir. And for me, it was a lot like reading Levon's book, where it just blew through it and I didn't want it to end. There was so much about it that I just was like so hooked on what was just the whole story. And kind of like Levon's book, though, made me sad in a way too. Just thinking about it. This is y'all are.
Well, I think it's a sad story. I mean, yeah. I was always. I mean, I'm full of gratitude and appreciation and sadness all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's the weird thing with what was interesting. You saying like you had processed all that stuff. It's it's a weird thing. Like when you're in a band, like whatever's going on internally, you deal with all that stuff privately, and then like and then your fans and the rest of the world find out about it, and it's like you're having a conversation 3 or 4 years after what's already happened to you, and you're long past it. It's just like that's always an interesting dynamic, is to just sort of like, try to be like, oh, I understand where you're coming from, but being inside of it is like a much different thing, you know?
Well, I definitely had a lot of people who were saying like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry about it." I'm like, "What are you sorry for? It was great. It was, you know, hey, it's first of all, a lot the hardest things were a long time ago, and secondly, hell, I signed up for it. You know, it's like it's but that was a big part of me deciding it was time to write the book. Was I got to a point where I did appreciate it all. You know, I mean, and I tried to write it in the sense of like if I was angry at the time, I wrote it angry now just to keep me in the headspace, but. The one misconception is that I wrote it in a blind fit of rage from certain people. It's like, nah, I was pretty chilled out actually, just sitting up in the front room with a cup of coffee, cranking it out every morning. So, but you know, I'm glad it's done. I have absolutely no regrets about it. I think it all turned out pretty great.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. And
you guys might not be aware of this, but there's this. I have a band called Trigger Hippie, and I'm about halfway through the book on that band.
That was my next question, Steve.
Boy, I tell you what, man.
Expose.
Let me tell you, man. It makes the crows look like a walk in the park. I'm telling you.
Well, that brings us to the next question. You know, what's it like being in a band with Ed Jurdy?
You know. It's interesting. Before I was in a band with Ed Jurdy, I looked at him as a great talent and a level-headed guy, and someone that you know was an inspiring figure. And I've, you know, but see, I don't do acid anymore in the last few years, and so it's really changed my perception on things. And this call is actually a great opportunity for me to say, Ed, I'm sorry, man, this just ain't working. This is not what I had in mind. And we just got to move on. You know, sorry, bro. I thought it was going to be a real different thing.
Man, that brings us to our next point, Ed. It's not working out, dude.
This is an Edervention. I'm sorry to say.
Eddie Veterantion. Wow, this is rough.
By the way, fun fact: I have been asked several times in public by strangers if I am not, in fact, Eddie Vedder. That's a true story.
You're about a foot taller than Eddie Vedder, Steve.
As I've said to everyone, do I look 5'6"? What are you talking about? I'm not making that up. I swear. I've had people over the years like, Eddie, I'm sorry, are you Eddie Vedder? And I'm always just blown away by that. I'm like, wow. Okay. I mean, I guess it could be worse, certainly, but I just don't see the resemblance on any level.
Yeah. So, Steve, besides the book, do you you're a multimedia mogul. What else are you doing? You have a radio show, don't you? Tell the
I'm on the air as we speak. The miracle of modern technology. Steve Gorman Rocks, baby. That's my classic rock radio show. It comes to you via the Westwood One Cumulus Network, Ed. Monday through Friday, 5 hours a night of classic rock, man. And that's after the Band of Heathens were on my former radio show, Steve Gorman Sports. Right. You guys all crammed into the studio and knocked out a tune or two, if memory serves. So yeah, there's been I've had a radio show in some form or fashion for about the last 10 years, and that's a fine thing to do when you're a drummer who doesn't write songs. It's good to have some other lane, something to do, because I'm not the kind of drummer who likes to sit in a room by myself and play. Like I need people to plug in and be in the room with me. And especially these last few months, it's more difficult than ever, of course, to satisfy the drumming itch that I get. So I do like to keep myself busy.
You're able to do it in Nashville, right? I mean, short commute, just jet in and out.
I do it from home now, Jack. It's just a stair. Yeah. My studio is a staircase away, baby.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason I go to the radio studio anymore is because it's got a large fenced-in field. And I bring the dogs there so they can chase tennis balls without worrying about going out into the street. Other than that, I'm working from home.
Nice.
You got to do something to pass the time.
Does the show stream online?
It does on my affiliates' individual Facebook pages and their websites. If you go to stevegormanrocks.com, you can find an affiliate and just click the link and it'll take you to it. But there's not one centralized stream because we like people to be driven to the actual radio stations themselves.
Yeah.
Did you have to like practice your voice for radio, or did it just like you always just talk like this because you have a great radio voice?
No, I was a broadcasting major in college. You know, I thought I was going to be a sportscaster originally. So And I just, to answer your question, no, I just always sort of sounded like this. And then when I would go into radio stations with the Crows, like in the 90s, back when rock stations would have you in the afternoon, and you'd sit down and the actual like DJ guy would be like, so what's it like on the road out there? I'd be that. I could complete a sentence and not cuss. So I found myself, I was a good candidate to go to radio stations after, a few years we'd all been on the road. So I could tell a story without cussing, and I could complete a thought. And obviously in the world of rock bands, that puts you way ahead of way towards the top of the list. And then, but I'd always figured I'd be doing something like this. And so it was not an unnatural thing to start doing my own sports talk show years ago in Nashville.
Awesome,
man. I have to, just because we're in this with this quarantine and everything. One question I've been talking to everybody is what they're watching, and I know, being a sports fan, I have to ask: have you watched The Last Dance yet? Have you done that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was fantastic,
man. Yeah.
I really liked it, and there was very little. There's a few things in there I didn't know, but I rember that era very, very well.
Yeah.
And it was great to go back and sort of remember all these different players and series along the way. But yeah, it was, I would have watched, another 10 hours quite happily.
Yeah, that's pretty much
It's fantastic.
I felt about it, yeah.
The other thing I saw that I thought was amazing was the Diego Maradona documentary that came out a little while ago about him going to, when he went to play for Napoli in the mid 80s. It's just all about his time in Italy is spectacular.
Oh man, that's amazing.
I think that might be an HBO
right.
thing. I'm not sure. It's worth finding. It's incredible.
It's crazy. I saw that. He was like Tony Montana in that. It was like literally he was Scarface on the soccer field,
He signs with a club in Italy and he comes to town to sign the deal, and there's a full stadium waiting for him to just walk out and wave. Like they're nowhere near the season yet, and he walks out. It's incredible.
So that was kind of like when you arrived in Atlanta to start your music career.
yeah.
It was not dissimilar. Yeah. A lot of immediate affection and an outpouring of love from the greater Atlanta metropolitan area for me, and I've always been humbled and appreciative.
Yeah, love it.
I've said for years, it's that people really, really love you and more importantly respect you when they go out of their way not to make a fuss over you when you walk into a bar or a restaurant. And so I've enjoyed that level of love for decades now.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it.
Brilliantly put.
Man, let me have my
dreams. Good.
Let me have my dreams, Gordy. You weren't first my bubble.
I feel the same gratitude. People just leave us alone. They're so thoughtful and caring.
I'm going to be the one fan not to get in his face. They all feel that way, and it's great. It's warming. It's like a blanket, of love.
They're like, man, Pearl Jam was my favorite band. I'm just going to leave him alone and let Eddie Vedder sit in the back, man.
That's exactly right.
Oh, man. Well, Steve, man, thanks so much for joining us. For those of you just tuning in, Steve Gorman from Steve Gorman Rocks, Steve Gorman Sports, Trigger Hippie, the Black Crows, and I'm probably missing a few other
Suffering
things.
Bastards.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, little Bobby Keys and Suffering Bastards. There was a band that was around for a little while called Jimmy Page and the Black Crows. That was a good time too.
That was
Let's just as long as you're going down all the bands I've been in, that was probably my favorite one.
Steve, how did playing with Bobby Keys come about?
That came about he lived here, and he was always trying to figure out a way to keep his lungs in shape when the Stones would be off the road. And he was just talking with a guy in town named Chark, who used to run the Mercy Lounge, and said, man, I wish I had a band. And Chark immediately called me and Dan Baird and said, do you want to put a band together for Bobby? And the answer of that is, of course, yes. And that was it. We just got some guys together and started playing. The set list was pretty amazing. You just look at all the stuff he played on, and let's play these 12 tonight. Every night was like, okay, I like all 12 of these songs.
Yeah.
Pretty great. And he was just such a phenomenal character. I mean, he was better than advertised. Just the greatest guy. It was a blast.
Yeah,
He's got a great book too.
Oh yeah, what's that called? Every night's a Saturday
Every
night.
night's a Saturday night. Yeah,
Yep.
I read that one.
Awesome. Well, Steve, thanks again, man, for coming on. And we'll look forward to seeing you in person. I'll look forward to playing some music with you sometime, hopefully before the year's over. And
Wouldn't that be nice?
it would be really nice. And
Yeah.
as we bid you adieu, we're gonna roll out the Band of Heathens remote transmission.
Yeah, which we're bummed you couldn't drum on the track with us, which we had planned on doing. But it just means we'll have to do another one.
Yeah.
We'll make
I
a
like
recording.
that. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker for a dramatic comeback. That's all this was. I'm just Willis reading this whole thing on by design.
I love it. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks, man. Thanks for being
All right.
with us.
Thanks, fellas.
Steve.
Thanks,
Talk to you
Steve.
See ya.
Bye,
Thanks.
man. All right. Well, cool.
That
So,
guy's awesome.
That was awesome.
Jesse, if you didn't know this already, Jesse's cocktail was a little prelude to
little nod to the remote transmission.
the remote transmission tonight.
This is a song that Trevor has been on us for a while to break into the live set to learn as a cover. So this was a fun one to dive into. Shall we just do it?
Let's
Yeah.
roll it.
Is everybody ready for the remote transmission
Yeah, so excited.
out there in the interwebs?
So excited.
All right, let's see here. See if I can figure this thing out.
Where I come from, there ain't nobody quite like you. Who blessed my soul. She's cold on Sunday and always evades the truth. Whose lingo comes from God knows where, and he surely knows more than I. Who always knows how mocked I am when you call me your cushy ride. I say, hey, honey, I hold you way up too high for me. Come on, whoa, come on, baby. I put you way up too high for me. She learned me life is sweet and God is good and he always will provide. She taught me all I never knew and she taught me more besides. So I say, hey, come on, honey, I hold you way up too high for me. Oh, come on, baby. I put you way up too high for me.
Yeah.
Oh, the Kushti Rye. Ronnie Lane,
Kushti
the great
Rye.
Ronnie Lane. Ronnie Lane, full circle too. Ronnie Lane was kind of one of the, Ronnie Lane was in Austin for a long time too. I think that's what kind of turned Ian McLagan on to being
Yeah.
there too.
Well, they were old buddies, and he brought Ian out from L.A. McLagan was at a loose end after being a session guy and doing work in L.A., and I think that was his link to Austin was Ronnie. And if anybody's wondering, Kushti Rye comes from is a word that was used or it means good gentleman in Romany, which is like a gypsy dialect spoken all over Europe. Over 1 million people speak it, scattered all over Europe, and Ronnie Lane was a bit of a gypsy, but that's where the word comes from. So call me your Kushti Rye, your good gentleman.
Go find.
And,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, going back to Ian McLagan and the Lucky Lounge days. Remember, he used to play that tune all the time with Scrappy, and I feel like did he used to close the set with that?
Kind of a typical set closer. Everybody be up dancing at the Thursday nights, 6 to 8 free show. It'd always be a great party.
Quintessentially Austin,
Heady times indeed.
yet so English.
Right?
We miss Ian. We miss Ronnie Lane.
Yeah, go find Ronnie Lane's music. Ronnie Lane and Slim Chance. If you don't know him, he was in the band The Faces with Rod Stewart and Ron Wood before that. And anything with Ronnie Lane on it. Pete Townsend, Rough Mix. That's a great record. Anything Ronnie Lane, go find it. You will not. You'll be happy you did. It makes you feel.
It will bring a smile to your face.
Indeed.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Well,
Speaking
hey.
of smiles. Go ahead, Gordon.
Yeah. Well, no, it's time. I'm so excited. Nikki Bloom, Jesse. Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hey, y'all.
How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. I'm on cat dog duty, just like making sure there's no vicious attacks, and it's kind of a full-time job, turns out.
Well,
Yeah.
puppies, turns out.
But in the best way. It's a great distraction from so many other things.
It's good to be distracted right now.
Well,
Would y'all like to play us a tune? We're so lucky that you're stuck with Jesse during these times.
I know.
Well, I feel the same way, so the feeling is mutual. I'm happy to get to have these Tuesday nights with y'all. It's so fun to just watch Jesse kind of like think about what he's gonna make for a drink, and I get my Monday nights to just watch my own shows while he does the videos. It's all good. It's working out great.
There we go.
Sorry
about that.
What do we have?
That's looking good. Looking good.
Well, when you leave it on autofocus, when there's two of us, it does the thing where it tries to switch between who's in focus, and I meant to switch it to manual focus before, but
Can you tell it?
Do it right when she was talking? So
Yeah, can you tell it just to focus on Nikki?
yeah, I would. Yeah, if only.
It's like in Almost Famous where you're Russell, and you're like, I'm just a slightly out of focus guy.
I prefer that at this point.
Another movie quote. Sorry.
Oh, that's a new one, Trav. That's not that's not one of the four. We're expanding.
It's a good one to quote.
Want to play one?
Yeah, okay, so this is a song that I play for myself because I feel like I need to hear it. I don't know if y'all have songs like that where you're like, they're almost mantras to you, and you're just kind of like, okay, this is going to keep me on the rails. This is one of those songs for me, and it was written by my really good friend Sarah Siskind, who's an incredible songwriter. She used to live in Nashville, and I met her through the infamous String Dusters, which are a great string band, and it's called One Day at a Time. It's a shame that you feel this way. It's a shame that you feel this way. It's a shame that you feel this way. Take it one day at a time. You can change if you want to. You can We were made to work it out. We were made to work it out. We were made to work it out. One day at a time. And you can change if you want to. You can change if you want to. You can change if you want to. One day at a time. Oh, one day at a time. Well, if you think this world is leaving you behind, take it one day at a time. Well, if these tears you cry are gonna leave you blind, take it one day at a time. Well, if your heart is broken, so is mine, take it one day at a time. Hey, if your heart is broken, so is mine. Take it one day at a time.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
Nice.
That was awesome.
So, Nikki, I saw that you're doing a streaming show this week, huh?
I am. Thank you for bringing that up.
Where can people
Yes.
find that?
I just put the link on Instagram and Facebook, Nikki Bloom.
Nice.
It's going to be on YouTube, and there's a link that you can click, and you can set a reminder. It's like the one good thing about YouTube.
Also, actually, because we just set it up today, if you go on YouTube and find Nikki's YouTube page, it should be right at the top. It should say upcoming event show, and it'll tell you the time, and you can click set reminder right there on YouTube.
Yeah.
Easy. Awesome.
But it is, Thursday night 7 Central.
That's right.
Yeah.
Y'all make sure you tune in.
Thanks, guys.
Check that out. That was great, guys. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Thank you again for having me. Always love hanging out with y'all.
We always love having you.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki Bloom. All right. Well, we have some comments. Some people are asking, what about Vinyl Richie? We switched things up with the order today, and
Don't you worry.
People are asking about me.
yeah, man.
Person was asking about you.
Oh, thanks.
No.
One person.
We set up we set up a bot account.
Oh, good.
There
Yeah.
are multiple.
Yeah.
I'm glad we could clear that up.
Multiple.
All right. Well, so I usually try to pick a record that comes out within a day. Sometimes I've been lucky a couple times, and we've had a show where the record came out the day of the show, but couldn't find anything good this week that I wanted to talk about. But on June 26th, 1964, one of my favorite records was released, and that would be the Beatles' Hard Day's Night. So this would be the US version, which if you don't recognize this cover, that's because the UK version had this cover. And that was released a couple of weeks after the US version. But US release of A Hard Day's Night was June 26, 1964. It was a #1 record in the UK and the US. In the US, it spent 14 weeks at the top of the charts. And this was their third record released in the UK and the fourth record released in the States. They like to kind of jumble around songs, and sometimes they would cut so many songs off of one record that there would be enough left over, and then from their batch of sessions, then they'd have another record there. So yeah, we have different tracks on both of these. Interestingly enough, it's kind of backwards. The US version, or backwards to what I would think, the US version includes orchestral instrumentals that were on the movie A Hard Day's Night, which is what this record was made for. It's the soundtrack to the film, which if you haven't seen the film, you got to watch it. It's pretty incredible. It's so funny. It just really shows. It was mostly scripted, but it was it was there was a lot of ad-libbing too, and the script was written by the writer who kind of followed them around for a couple of days, and he really wanted to, like, even though he was writing some of it, he wanted to show basically what their life was like at the height of Beatlemania. So it's a great film if you haven't seen it. But yeah, different track listings on each record, so it might be worth checking out both versions, although the orchestral arrangements aren't really, unless you want to be a nerd about it, which I do. So this was the first Beatles record to feature all original songs, no covers, and it's the only Beatles record where every song was written by John or Paul or both. And John actually is featured on this record. He wrote 9 of the 13 songs. The recording of the album took place in the first half of 1964 at EMI Studios, which is what we now know as Abbey Road. Can't Buy Me Love was recorded in Paris while they were in the middle of performing 18 shows at the Olympia Theater. And that was the first single released for the record, and it was a hit. And little fun fact about that song, it was George Martin's idea to start the song with the chorus. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't know the song as it is, and we wouldn't know a lot of their catalog as it is. But just a little factoid there about the record. The song A Hard Day's Night was written and recorded in about 24 hours. The session took place on April 16th from 7 to 10 p.m., and the song was done in 9 takes. The engineer who was working on it, Norman Smith, played the bongos, and Paul played cowbell. I always assumed that Ringo played the bongos on that track, which he did play the bongos on the rest of the record. But for whatever reason, Norman Smith played the bongos on that one. Maybe it was a live take. And Paul played the cowbell, which is ferocious. A Hard Day's Night introduced us also to 12-string guitar George Harrison, which is one of my favorite George Harrisons. And that was a major influence on musicians of the day, including the Byrds. Another little factoid regarding the film, A Hard Day's Night, Patty Boyd was an extra, and her and George met on the first day of filming in one of the train car scenes. Some of you may know that Patty Boyd and George Harrison later on got together, and she was the inspiration for George writing Something. And then after that, Clapton and her dated, and she was the inspiration for Clapton's Layla, Derek and the Dominoes. So a very influential English woman, Patty Boyd, and her and George met first day of filming Hard Day's Night. So before the record was released in America, this is kind of funny, a United Artists executive, which is the label that came out on the States on, he asked the film producer of A Hard Day's Night to dub the voices of the Beatles with mid-Atlantic accents. And McCartney replied, "Look, if we understand a fucking cowboy talking Texan, then they can understand us talking Liverpool." If you watch the album, if you watch the movie, you know they talk pretty quick, but they definitely have this thick Liverpudlian accent, and once you kind of get it in your head, you figure it out. But I went to Liverpool last year or 2 years ago, and I had such a hard time understanding, and people at first don't know that maybe I'm a foreigner or whatever, but they're just talking to you like day to day, and they talk quick, man, and they're witty, and yeah, it takes some getting used to. But yeah, just a couple of quotes here. So regarding the title, this is from John. He said, "I was going home in the car, and Dick Lester, who's the producer of the film A Hard Day's Night, suggested the title Hard Day's Night from something Ringo had said. I had used that phrase in His Own Right, which is a book that John wrote, which I would also recommend to grab. It's super funny, just crazy. It's like reading Alice in Wonderland. Just nonsense all over the place. But he said it was an off-the-cuff remark by Ringo. One of those malapropisms. a Ringoism, which he said is not to be funny. He just said it. So Dick Lester said we are going to use that title, and the next morning I brought in the song because there was a little competition between Paul and I for who got the A-side and who got the hit singles. And then Paul has a cool quote, and he kind of reiterates that, but he says that usually John and I would sit down, and if we thought of something, we'd write a song about it. But Walter Shinson, who was the producer of A Hard Day's Night, asked John and me if we'd write a song specially for the opening and closing credits. We thought about it, and it seemed a bit ridiculous writing a song called A Hard Day's Night. It sounded funny at the time, but after a bit we got the idea of saying it that it had been a hard day's night, and we'd been working all the days and get back to a girl and everything's fine, and we turned it into one of those songs. So they actually hadn't written the song, whenever the recording of the album started and the filming started. I think the movie's initial title was going to be Beatlemania. There was another title I saw, but so it's crazy to think, it's like, oh, this is of course A Hard Day's Night. The album is A Hard Day's Night, but that didn't come to fruition for them until they were almost done with the entire record. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, y'all check it out. Like I said, there's a couple of different versions, UK and US. If you're getting the vinyl, just be aware that different songs are on each record. And please watch the film if you haven't. And that's all I got.
Dude, I want to jump in real quick. I feel like we should get some Good Time Supper Club bonus points to anybody in here that can successfully play the first chord of A Hard Day's Night.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask Ed or Gordy to do it, but then I realized you got to have the bass in there too.
Yeah,
so
it's
one person. I don't think one person can do it.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have instruments right next to us, and none of us want to try it. Which
I'm an open tuning man.
And Rich, you mentioned Paul's ferocious cowbell.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
I know where this is going.
The most ferocious cowbell playing I've ever been in the presence of was at your wedding. Jesse,
Yes.
I think, were you on stage with me?
I have the greatest selfie ever from this exact moment.
Jesse and I were up on stage rocking out. I think Delbert McClinton was there, and Jesse, both your parents were there, and Richard's dad, Dave Millsap, who I love, was up there, and he must have learned how to play cowbell from Delbert, or maybe Delbert learned how to play cowbell from him. But it is the most authoritative and ferocious cowbell playing, and when you're next to it, man, that thing pierces.
It's cut. It's got to cut.
It's got to cut. But
I have a photo of me, Gordy, and Dave were the background section, the background vocal section for whatever was happening at the time. And Dave got the cowbell in his hand. And I have a selfie where Gordy and I are both laughing into the camera because of how impressive and also incredibly just abrasive this is. But Dave has no idea that I'm taking a photo. He's in pure bliss, smacking the shit out of this cowbell, and it's about the greatest thing.
Cowbell bliss. Yeah, man. Ferocious.
Cool. But very important,
Yeah, very important. And man, it was in the pocket. It was right there. It's where it needed to be.
It is Paul McCartney.
Yeah. So we're here at Trading Places. I almost screwed up this segment earlier, but by playing a song that I think Ed is going to do next. But I'm gonna kick things off here, doing one of Ed's songs. This Trading Places segment came about from these private concerts that Ed and I have been doing. We call it the Lifeline Tour, and they've been really fun getting to know people and doing these really personal shows via Zoom, just like this, for you and 10 friends. And so if that's something you're interested in, check it out. But one of the things that happens is people get to make requests. We get to have conversation. A lot of times people will ask me to play Ed's songs and ask Ed to play my songs, sometimes on purpose, sometimes not knowing who sings which one. And so it's been fun diving into each other's catalog. And so this segment kind of came from those shows and just from the just having to do it. And so it's been really fun. So I'm gonna do another one here. This one's called Caroline Williams.
I read the wrong invitation, 'cause the date in my mind said next Thursday about 8:45. Pick me up at my place so we can go on from there. Can't wait to see you, it's been so long, babe. By all indications, we were just fine. At least that's how I had it made up in my mind. The lights were dark and the note on the door read, Caroline Williams don't live here anymore. I have a predisposition to be on the go. Sunrise and new skies are the faces I know. Should have seen it coming, should have looked for a sign. Missing a phone call, getting lost on the wire. In so many ways, never thought I was wrong. But I never thought you'd leave after staying so long. The lights were dark and the note on the door read, Caroline Williams don't live here anymore. Caroline Williams don't live here anymore. Pages keep turning, missing the days you saved away. Walking through turnstiles, trying to count the ways that we've paid into each other. Lights were dark and the note on the door read, Caroline Williams don't live here anymore. The lights were dark and the note on the door read, Caroline Williams don't live here anymore. Caroline Williams don't live here anymore. Caroline Williams don't live here oh anymore.
Yeah. Nice. I think we need to come up with a theme song for Trading Places too.
Oh yeah.
Trading places,
We need to keep
places
that.
traded.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
it's something better than that, but first thing that came to mind.
Trading places.
Trevor, I
I'm gonna
like,
make you. We can make like a '70s cop show intro.
like Kojak. Perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That'd
like
be
a
awesome.
Curtis Mayfield.
Totally.
Trading places.
Curtis.
Places.
Curtis is the man.
A lot of love for the Gibson 12-string too, Gordy. That's
Delicious.
delicious.
Buttery tones. Well, I'm gonna reprise this tune that Gordy introed for me earlier on this evening.
Just foreshadowing. That's
Yeah,
all.
you know, we've been doing that all night long. Jesse with the cushy rye drink, a little foreshadowing with this one, which I love. I remember this song in the studio was one of the first things where we got a little adventurous. There's some prepared piano on this track. We did some weird things with the vocal. Recorded at the Airy Studio in Austin, way down in South Austin with Mark Addison. way back in what year was that? 2009, 2008. When I don't know when we recorded it. It came out in 2009, but
Did I hear a Niner in there?
Niner, catching Niner. Anyways, without further ado, this is the Golden Calf.
Poor man begging for a drop of change. Rich man running from a ball and chain. Preacher man bullying for a Democrat. I see 8 more seconds on the golden calf. Yeah. Shine my shoes with a dirty flag. Hide my secrets in a body bag. Say what you want on my epitaph. Give me 8 more seconds on the golden calf. Just give me 8 more seconds. 8 more seconds on the golden calf. 8 more seconds. 8 more seconds on the golden calf. Build my house with rusty nails, making homemade soup in a garbage pail. Feed the homeless on my behalf. Just 8 more seconds on the golden calf. Just give me 8 more seconds. 8 more seconds. 8 more seconds. Give me 8 more seconds on the golden calf. Just give me 8 more seconds. 8 more seconds on the golden calf. 8 more seconds. Just give me 8 more seconds on the golden calf. 8 more seconds on the golden calf. 8 more seconds on the golden calf. Just give me 8 more seconds on the golden calf.
Amen, Ed.
All right. Well, we made it. I won't tell everyone what was happening over here, but let's just say a certain webpage with the lyrics wasn't open when the song started. So
When the song started.
Swimming in shark-infested waters for a minute there.
Oh. Good thing you've got that strong memory.
Well,
got to say, if anybody's going to write a book in this band, I'm going to. Ed's memory is certainly sharper than mine. I don't know.
I feel like Richard would also be a good accountability expert here.
My book will be I've forgotten everything I used to remember.
Oh man,
we're there again, guys. We made it.
What a week! What a show! Special thanks to Nikki Bloom. Special thanks to Steve Gorman from Trigger Hippie with Ed and formerly of the Black Crows. This has been fun. Jesse, nice work putting together that video for the remote transmission.
Killer,
man.
And
my favorite.
Man, last week's remote transmission was so great that maybe we're gonna bring it back right now, but live.
Dude.
Oh.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right, I think I'm in tune here. Let's see here. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope y'all are doing well, staying safe, staying sane. We're grateful that you choose to spend your Tuesday nights with us. We'd love to see you in some of the private concerts if that's your thing, or just tune in next week. We'll be back. I'm going to send you off here with this one. All right. All right.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Yeah, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you.
Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you, and I'm wondering what it is I should do. It's so hard to keep the smile from my face. Losing control, yeah, I'm all over the place. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Well, you started out with nothing, and you're proud that you're a self-made man. And your friends, they all come crawling, slap you on the back and say, please, please.
Trying to make some sense of it all, but I can see it makes no sense at all. Is it cool to go to sleep on the floor? 'Cause I don't think I can take any more. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Where you started out with nothing, and you're proud that you're a self-made man. And your friends, they all come crawling, slap you on the back and say, please, please.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared I nearly fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Stuck in the middle with you. Stuck in the middle with you.
Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you.
Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah. Good handoff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice high harms, Nikki. Thank you.
Yeah. BGVs.
I know.
Shadows.
Woohoo.
That was the dog.
Well, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is the dozen tonight.
The dirty
12.
D.
Next
Who
week's the
knew?
baker's dozen.
Next week is the Baker's Dozen. Yes.
Show is.
Thanks for tuning in, you guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks to everybody.
You stay well.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared for the ending video. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for coming out. We're the Band of Heathens. What a place. This is our first time here. This is a classy joint, y'all. Thanks for joining us.
I'm not running to get nowhere, kicking back just as much as I can, coming in on a wing and a prayer. I'm your last midnight. I like to wait for time to slowly